Speaking of immigration, there was this Washington Post story about a 2-year-old American girl. 2 years old, and she's American. Deported.
Oh, no.
Deported out of the country by herself, I guess, because that's what the headline led you to believe. That they just went and found this 2-year-old, took her out of
Tossed her
daycare
on the bus.
and sent her back to Brazil, where she didn't come from.
They didn't even let her take her playpen.
Right. Nope. Nope. So they just dropped her off in Brazil, I think in Rio de Janeiro, and she was on her own. Good luck, kid. Get out.
Here's a
Beat
photo of her doll in
Beat
her
it.
playpen all alone.
Since being flown to Brazil in February, Manu, that's her name, the 2-year-old girl, has become all but stateless, removed from her place of birth and not yet adopted by her home country.
Oh, no.
Eliana Goncalves awoke with a feeling of dread. Her first thought was of her 2-year-old daughter, Manu, because Manu is American. She was born Emanuelly Borges Santos in Fort Lauderdale in September of 2022. But in February, she was taken into custody in Florida. Oh, wait. I guess she wasn't alone. No, it was her illegal alien mother and father who were deported. They just happened to take their daughter with them. What irresponsible parents. Don't they know she's American? You should have left her right here. Should have left her here. I don't care who takes care of her. She's American. Leave her here. This is... What are you supposed to do as deported? I guess you don't deport anybody who has children.
No, because then
is
you're
that
separating families, Pat.
Shut up.
That's exactly what that is.
And
we're not separating
Tom
families.
Homan said in the beginning, no, we're not going to separate the family. They can take their kids with them if they want.
And this child can come back to America in 16 years or whatever she wants, unless we change the laws by then.
So in February, she was taken into custody in Florida alongside her mother and father, both of whom were undocumented.
So illegal.
And placed on a deportation flight to Brazil, where the family has been plunged into a bureaucratic morass.
Oh, my God.
Whose fault is that?
I know theirs. That is not the fault of the U.S. government. Jeez, the Washington Post is just slop.
And what's this family's last name again? What is this?
Santos?
Santos. So Santos's chickens are coming home to roost. I mean, this is, you make a decision to enter the country illegally, then there are going to be consequences that maybe you don't foresee.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And then, but you've got the backing of publications like the Washington Post to provide you cover and try to make the American government look like they're really super mean and just unfeeling and uncaring and evil and oppressive.
Well, they just picked up this 2-year-old and tossed her on a plane and sent her to Brazil.
Just dumped her in Brazil somewhere. In fact, I think they just gave her a parachute and pushed her out of the plane.
Just going to say that. They didn't even land the plane.
Yeah, no, they didn't even land. And they just pushed her out. Here's how you operate this, kid. Just pull the cord, okay? Pull the cord. It's not that hard. You're 2. Pull the cord.
Figure it out.
I love this paragraph as well. Manu, who is not a citizen or resident of Brazil, was forced to enter the country, forced as a tourist. In the 10 months since, as authorities in Brazil tried to figure out how to give her legal status, the girl has been left all but stateless. I bet this is really important to her. She's like, I don't even have a country. I don't even have a country. I'm American. I'm not Brazilian. What am I doing here in Brazil? You know she's pissed about it. You know she is.
This happened 10 months ago? She's been in Brazil for 10 months?
Yes, she's been in Brazil all that time.
Has Donald Trump been president for 10 months?
No,
Wait, when did
that's
she
a
get...
really good point.
Wait, when was she sent back?
That is a good point.
And her name is Manu,
Manu, M-A-N-U, an American citizen. She has no right to routine pediatric checkups in Brazil's public health care system. She
as a
cannot.
tourist.
I like this too. She cannot easily enroll in a Brazilian school or daycare.
Oh, okay.
But she can enroll in one. It's just not super easy enough for the Washington Post. And she's living on a temporary tourism visa that's set to expire in just weeks.
Oh, no.
Then what? All of this was on her mother's mind as she got out of bed on a recent morning. What if I need to take her to the doctor? She asked. Well, as the Trump administration intensifies its immigration crackdown, moving to deport 1 million undocumented immigrants by year's end, American citizens are being caught in that dragnet.
Yeah,
what a pathetic story.
This was during another, year the administration you love.
Is that a detail? I haven't seen.
It doesn't say that anywhere, but it has to be, right? Because they've been there.
They've been in Brazil for 10 months. That's what it said. That's what you read.
Well, no, because here it says, this is weird, because the numbers don't add up, as you're noticing. In February, she was taken into custody in Florida.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But that is weird. So it must not be 10 months. It must just be, 3 months now?
10
that
weeks,
they've been
whatever
there?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
months.
so I found the story they were looking for. The line is in the tense months.
Tense months, yeah.
Tense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
TENSE. What do I win? I just spelled it right. Right?
Man, we already gave away all our prizes
We
to
sure
the
did.
Indian American
Thought
students.
I won the PGU spelling bee.
No,
You're not getting the cup. You're not getting nothing.
No. We got nothing for you. Weeping alligator tears
That's
in
right.
here from this Washington Post story about the heinous American government that we have.
That's
Little
the word.
Mamu.
Heinous.
Little Mamu.
Little Manu.
no.
Little Manu.
It's not Mamu. It's
Not Manu.
Manu.
Oh, wait.
Manu.
I'm tearing up for the wrong kid.
Yes.
What the heck?
It's Manu.
Get it right,
Like
bro.
Robin Williams. Manu. Wasn't it? Isn't that what he used to say?
That was Nanu.
Nanu. Okay.
That's what I thought the name was at first, actually, when you were seeing it.
No.
We don't even know what the hell the kid's name is now.
We're just weeping.
Fisher, if you
There's
can't
too
remember,
many tears. I can't read the story anymore. They
can't remember
flowing out of my eyes.
Her legitimate American legal name is Emanuelly Borges Santos.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes, beautifully put.
Nanu.
Beautifully
in
put.
Brazil.
Nanu, yes.
So, wait, how is she not a citizen of Brazil if her parents are from
She was
Brazil?
born here.
Apparently, Brazil doesn't bend over backward for people like we do.
Well, then that's on Brazil.
I know,
Figure out
right?
your laws.
Yeah, but if two Americans go down and have a baby, well, I mean, if I had a child, two Americans have a child in Brazil,
Right?
Yeah.
does that make that child American?
Yeah, because
it's
they're,
got to,
yes,
right?
because your
Because
parents are
parents are
American.
Americans.
Yep.
Yes.
It does. John McCain wasn't born in America, but his parents were American.
Yeah, but he was born on a military base, I thought, right?
Yeah, but still, he was born in another country. They tried to make a thing out of that, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, but that's different than.
Yes.
But even if you're not on a military base, if you go to Germany and you are in Berlin and your wife gives birth,
Yeah.
that's going to be an American citizen.
A child born to
right?
two U.S. citizen parents abroad acquires citizenship at birth
Yep.
so long
you
as
go.
either parent had a residence in the United States or its possessions sometime
Okay.
before the child's anytime before the child's birth.
Oh my
Anytime.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's
We make
amazing.
it so easy.
So easy.
There is no
Yeah.
specific link to physical presence required.
So
Those
easy.
damn German
But
anchor
the Brazilian
babies, though.
government helped them out. They made her a temporary citizen until she turns 18.
Yeah, Brazil's helped them out.
So
Yeah,
they
we're
are
good.
helping them out.
Then there's not an issue.
She's a temporary
it's a no
citizen.
issue. Yes.
So she probably gets all the health care.
Yes.
So probably gets into school.
Yes.
All of the things that they're whining about in this story. And here's the other thing. They were tagged for deportation in 2022
Yes.
under, I don't know,
Trump.
Joe Robinette Biden.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
So when the Washington Post
Incredible.
says that
Incredible.
Nanu doesn't have a country, she's a girl without a country, it's a
It's a
complete
lie.
lie.
That's
It's
a lie.
just a lie.
The whole thing's a lie.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Incredible.
It's just a bash Trump story.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
And hoping that no one actually.
Exactly.
Don't look into it.
Right.
Don't check out the details. Don't even think about it.
Right.
Just sit there, read the story, and weep. Just break down and weep.
Which is what we did
openly.
at first.
And we
That's
did.
what we did at first. And then we started thinking, wait.
Nanu.
After the tears dried,
Right.
Yeah.
we read the story in detail, and we realized there's nothing here.
My gosh.
But how many people are going to do that? They're going to see the headline.
No.
They're going to go,
a lot of
"That
people.
damn
Most
Trump."
people. Uh-huh. Most people are going to do that. Oh, wow. Most days now, it's just mommy and the 2-year-old.
Oh, no. Does Dad have to go to work?
Yeah,
in Brazil?
Dad had to go off to a job site
Damn it.
on the other side of the country.
Yes.
Brazil's pretty
I saw
big.
that.
It's pretty big.
Brazil's a pretty big country.
So he had to leave. And here's the thing about Manu. She sees other kids very rarely.
Oh, no.
I guess they don't have children in Brazil. We only have children in America. They don't have them in Brazil.
Mom doesn't take her to, I don't know, a park.
No.
So it almost
You
feels
can't.
like the crimes
okay, I
of the
just asked.
parents sneaking into the United States illegally is now has consequences not only for the parents but for the child that they had.
It almost seems that
It
way. You know, it
almost
can't
sounds
be
like
that
that.
because they would have written the story differently if that were the case.
And Pat-
if there was any personal responsibility on the part of the parents, I'm sure that would have been included.
First and
right?
foremost, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
First
forget
paragraph.
that Manu is able to watch her favorite cartoon in her iPad.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
What's the
wow.
cartoon?
Baby
Man.
Bus.
Yeah, we got that.
Baby Bus?
I
Yes,
like that.
Baby Bus, so
Okay.
she can
Do
continue.
they have that in Brazil? Do they have it?
No, because
Oh,
they're using
no.
that
Oh,
to make
no.
sure that she continues to learn English.
Stop it.
Okay,
So-
where did she get the iPad from?
Probably us. Probably taxpayer funded.
I just
probably.
I don't know. I maybe Dad was
Well, Dad
working
does
on the
have
other
a
side
job.
of the United
He's-
States of America
He's got a
too.
job,
and- yeah.
so
Is there an Apple store in Brazil that they can get an iPad?
I'm sure not. No,
No.
that would be.
No.
This is too tragic a story for any sort of goodness to happen, like an Apple store. That's too much to expect in a country like Brazil. Because she doesn't see kids very often, the mother decided to take her daughter out to play.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she
There's an
told
idea.
Manu it was time to visit her grandparents' house next door, where there was a trampoline.
Wait, you're not going to get.
So next
right,
door
next
is
door.
the grandparents' house.
Grandparents are next door. And so this is going to tug at your heartstrings here. Manu slid her Crocs on, yelling, "Shoes!" in English. Then ran out the door.
That's how you know.
That's how you know she's American.
And Grandpa said,
That's how
"Hey."
you know she's an American.
Grandpa said, "Hey, why don't you start talking Brazilian, kid?"
No kidding. It's like her grandparents are
Portuguese,
next door.
perhaps?
Whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
not across another continent there.
That's
So that's a benefit for you.
unbelievable. Well, next door,
Right.
okay, the mom placed her daughter inside the trampoline.
Oh yeah, because they probably have the net.
Oh,
around
yeah,
it.
probably
Yeah,
have the
net.
netting
Yeah.
for safety purposes. Then she stood back and watched her jump up and down, up and down. Her American girl
All alone.
giggling in the day's last light.
Oh, right.